श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शारदा शारदाम्भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं क्रियात्। माला सुधा कुम्भविबोधमुद्रा विद्याविराजत्करवारिजाताम् अपारकारुण्यसुधाम्बुराशिं श्रीशारदाम्बां प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। वक्तारमासाद्ययमेव नित्या सरस्वती स्वार्थसमन्वितासीत्। निरस्तदुस्तर्ककळङ्कपङ्का नमामि तं शङ्करमर्चिताङ्घ्रिम्। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्। Om. In the previous session, we had looked at verse number 19 and its commentary, and we had seen how there was an internal order in the development of the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, how Viveka was the foundational stepping stone, the building block upon which the entirety of Vedanta rests. So Viveka, we saw, led to Vairagya, Vairagya led to Shamadhi Shatkam, Shamadhi Shatkam led to Mumukshutvam. And within the Shamadhi Shatkam also, in the commentary by Jagadguru Srimad Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, we had seen how Shama led to Dhamma, Dhamma led to Uparama, Uparama led to Titiksha, Titiksha led to Samadhanam, Samadhanam had led to Shraddha. So within the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, Shankaracharya had talked about uh, a cause-effect relationship between Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shatkam and Mumukshutvam. And in the commentary to that verse by Jagadguru Srimad Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, the Sringeri Jagadguru had talked about how there was a cause-effect relationship within the Samadhi Shatkam itself. So we had completed the commentary to verse number 19. Now we will read the 20th verse. Brahma Satyam Jaganmithyevam Rupo Vinishchayaha Soyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Samudahritaha. So what is Shankaracharya saying in this verse? So here we had, in the previous verse, we had talked about Viveka. And we had said Viveka meant Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, the differentiation or the ability to discriminate between what is Nityam, eternal, and what is Anityam, ephemeral. So, what is the meaning of eternal and ephemeral? Now, if we look at our Shastras, be it Itihasa, Purana, Veda, etc., we keep saying Swargam is Nityam, heaven is eternal, the gods are called Amritaha, they do not die. So, does the meaning of eternal, Nityam, is it the same meaning as saying Swargam is Nityam or the gods do not die, they are all Amritas, they have all drunk Amritam, and once you drink Amritam, you become immortal. Is that the meaning of Nityam? Acharya says no. Even that Nityatvam that is being talked about in the Shastra for Swargam, for the Devatas, etc., that is only a Gauna Prayogam, it is only a secondary way of saying it. It is not, it is being said only to imply that they exist for a very long period of time in comparison to the lifespan of a human being. Now, if you consider the perspective of a small insect, let's say a mosquito. Now, the life of the mosquito is only for 3 or 4 weeks. Now, compared to the mosquito, the human being who lives for 100 years, according to the mosquito, the human being is Nityam. Because the mosquito will be born, it will grow up, it will survive by drinking the blood from all of us, and then it will perish also. When we slap it, it will perish, it will die. So its lifespan is only 3 weeks or so, or 4 weeks. So compared to the mosquito's lifespan, humanity's lifespan is very very long. So from the mosquito's perspective, it appears as though the human is nitya, as though the human being is eternal. But in reality, that human being we all know is not an eternal creature. That human being also is born, that human being grows, and then the human being will perish at some point in time. That body will perish at some point in time. So, similarly, when the Shastra is talking about the Swargaloka being eternal, or the Devas being Amaraha, those who do not die, we are talking about Apekshika Nityatvam, Apekshika Amritatvam. That is, we are talking about relative immortality, relative permanence. We are not talking about Atyantika Amritatvam, Atyantika Nityatvam. Swarga does not have Atyantika Nityatvam. It does not have an absolute permanence. It does not have an absolute immortality. So, when we are talking about Nitya, we are not talking about Swargalokam. In fact, Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Veda also says, Abrahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartinaha. That is, starting from the Brahmaloka, Chaturmukha Brahma's existence, his world. So, when we say in the Sankalpam, we talk about the life of Brahma. What does that imply? Dvitiye Parardhe, we say Brahma, who is belonging to the second half of his life. Now, each day of Brahma's life may comprise many, many, many eons, years, thousands and thousands of Chaturyugas, it may consider, it may take, but it is still finite because at some point, even Brahma, that is Chaturmukha Brahma, Hiranyagarbha we're talking about, and his Brahmaloka also is ultimately going to perish at one point in time, and then the next Brahma will come in and he will start the next creation. So, in Shastra, when we are talking about Nityatvam of Chaturmukha Brahma or Nityatvam of Brahmaloka or Nityatvam of Swargaloka, we are all talking about Apekshika Nityatvam. It is not, that is, it's a relative permanence. It is not an Atyantika Nityatvam, an absolute permanence. So, is there something which is absolutely permanent? That is the next question. And Vedanta says, yes, there is something which is absolutely permanent, which does not suffer from the uh, ephemerality that constitutes this universe. It is more permanent. In fact, you cannot even attribute an adjective called more and less to it because the only thing that exists in Advaita is that Nirguna Brahman is that Chaitanya. So all the starting from Chaturmukha Brahma and his loka to the smallest, tiniest insect, all of them are in the relative plane. In the absolute plane, there is only one entity which is absolutely real, and that entity is Brahman. And knowing that difference between absolute reality, absolute permanence, absolute eternalness, and this relative reality, relative existence is what is known as Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So, in this verse, what Shankaracharya is doing, he is introducing the very famous dictum, the very famous philosophy of Advaita, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The second line is not mentioned here, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, because the context of this is in discussing Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, defining the Vairagya is the context of the discussion here, and in that context, he is saying what is Vairagya? Vairagya refers to the discrimination between Nitya and Anitya, Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha, and to know what is Nitya Vastu, it is Brahman. That is not Chaturmukha Brahma. Here we are talking about Nirguna Brahma, Chaitanyam, consciousness we are talking about. When we say Nityam, we are talking about absolute Nityatvam, absolute permanence. And what has that absolute permanence? Brahman. And that is that absolute permanence of Brahman is encapsulated by the word Brahma Satyam, by the phrase Brahma Satyam. Similarly, how do we refer to the relative reality of the world that is captured by Jagan Mithya? So, when we say Mithya, what we are saying is this world doesn't have the Atyantika Nityatvam of Brahman. It is a dependent reality. It is dependent upon that absolute reality intrinsically of itself. It doesn't have a reality. The reality that appears as the world is actually Brahman's reality is being borrowed by the world and appears as the world. So when we say the world is real, what I see, this spot is real. What we are saying is, I see two things. I see the nama rupa, the name and the form, and I see existence. So when I say the pot exists, I see existence and I see the pot. And so that existence of the pot, which I think as a result of the cognition the pot exists, the existence of the pot is a mithya existence. It is neither sat of Brahman nor is it asat like a hare's horn. So what is asat? So people often get confused. Whenever we talk about mithya, people somehow get confused and they say, if it is not sat, it must be asat. So are we saying that the world is asat? They'll ask us. This is the common charge that the Dvaitans level against us. And we say, no, we are not saying the world is asat. And because what is asat? Asat is something which is nobody can say it exists in any time or any space. No, will any of us say, I have seen a hare, the horn on a hare, hare's horn, Shashasringam? We all know that horns only exist in cows, right? Do they exist in a hare? No, that is a rabbit. Does a rabbit have a horn? No, it doesn't have. Nobody in their right frame of mind can validly claim that I have seen a rabbit's horn. So, asat refers to those objects that are not, that nobody can say that there is this object existing, and for that statement to be a valid statement. So, satvena pratiti anarhatvam is asatvam. That which cannot be, which is incapable of appearing to exist at any time in any place. Satvena pratiti anarhatvam asatvam. That which is incapable of appearing to exist anywhere in any space or any time. That is asat. The world appears to exist. Correct. So the world is not like that hare's horn. See, nobody anywhere has seen the rabbit's horn, but everybody has seen the world. So the world appears to exist, the rabbit's horn does not appear to exist. So it is not asat. Similarly, is it then sat? No, it is not sat. If it was sat, then the world will have the permanent absolute existence of Brahman. But we know that all the objects in the world perish. The same perception that says this pot exists now later tells me that the pot stops to exist. All the objects in the world that we can perceive, the same perception tells that those objects will cease to exist in the future. We see so many objects perish. So none of the objects of the world have absolute existence. What about Svargaloka? Does Svargaloka have absolute existence? No. Why do we say that? That we say it's by inference. How can we say by inference? See, how does one attain Svargaloka? How does one attain Svargaloka? One attains Svargaloka by performing the karma. And whenever you perform the karma, you get a particular result. So we know that In the real world, whenever we perform an action, we get a result for that action. Is that result for that action ever permanent? Does it have absolute permanence? So, if I work very hard in my job and I get an increment or a promotion or a bonus, is that a permanent thing or a temporary thing? Of course, it is temporary. So, just like I got a promotion, I can also be demoted. Just like I got a bonus, I can also get a fine. Correct? Or sometimes they may say, I will give you a bonus and they will not give you. All of that thing can happen. We all have experienced all those things. So, what does it mean? Any product of an action is finite. That being the case, we have known that. How can you say the product of my karma, my Vedika karma, I do Sandhya Vandanam, I do Aupasanam, etc. How can I say the result of that karma is permanent? So, how can Swargaloka be permanent? To which somebody can say, no, no, no. That does not disprove that Swargaloka is permanent. It only disproves the fact that you have a permanent place in Swarga. Okay, correct. You are right. All it disproves is my permanent place in Swarga. It doesn't disprove the permanence of Swarga, if someone says. Then I will ask them, okay, sir, what happens during Pralaya? During Pralaya, what does it say? Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. All this, my dear chap, was one thing alone, the Shruti says, at the beginning of creation. So during Pralaya Kalam, when the entire world has been resolved, is the Swargaloka still existing? No, the Swargaloka also resolves. So what happens to Indra? He also, the king of Swarga, he also is resolved. And as Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka. So from Brahma himself, all the worlds starting from Brahmaloka are impermanent. So we have Shastric injunction telling us, we have Anumana Pramana inference telling us that Swargaloka is impermanent. Therefore, it follows that when we are talking about Jagan Mithya, not only are we talking about those objects that are we can perceive in this world, it also refers to those objects that we infer. It also refers to those objects like Swargaloka that are beyond our perception, but which have been postulated by the Shastra. We know the existence of Swarga through how? Through Shastra only. And it is the same Shastra which says that the Swargaloka is impermanent. Therefore, it is the Jagan Mithyatvam or the non-permanence of the Jagat refers both to Pratyaksha Jagat and to the Paroksha Jagat, the universe that is beyond perception also, like Swargaloka, etc. So, with that introduction, let us read the commentary to this by Jagat Guru Srimad Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami. So, reading Brahmanityam Jagat Anityam iti Nishchaya Sattvepi Dridham Vairagyam Nasambhavati Anitya Sukasyapi Prayaha Kamyamanatvat. So, Acharya is saying Brahma Nityam Jagat Anityam. Now, instead of saying Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, if we had said Brahman is Nityam being permanent and Jagat is Anityam being non-permanent, it is possible, even if one has certainty about that, it is possible that one does not have a very firm Vairagyam. So he says, Brahmanityam Jagat Anityam iti Nishchaya Sattvepi. Even if one has certainty about that, Dridham Vairagyam na Sambhavati. It is possible that one does not have a very firm Vairagyam or a dispassion towards the pleasures of the world. Why is that? Anitya Sukasyapi Prayaha Kamyamanatvat. So Acharya is saying, because it is possible that we know that the Sukham is Anityam, that it is non-permanent. Despite knowing it is impermanent, what do we say? It is possible for us to say, I still want it. I know that the pleasure that a mango gives me is only temporary. Despite that, prayaha, meaning before. Before what? Before the knowledge of the kind Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, So Acharya is saying, even if one has the knowledge Brahma Nityam Jagat Anityam, but if one does not have the knowledge Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, it is possible for one to continue having desires for Anitya Sukham, impermanent happiness. So, what is the meaning of that? This is a very important point that Acharya is saying. Not only are we saying that Jagat is impermanent, Anityam, the word Anityam in Nityanatya Vastu Viveka does not mean something is permanent, something is impermanent. What it actually means by Nityam, we are saying it is the only reality, and by Anityam, we are saying it is unreal. So, what is the intention by saying Jagan Mithya as opposed to Jagat Anityam? Because if we say Jagat Anityam, the Dvaitavadi also will agree. He will say Jagat is Satyam and Anityam. Whereas what we say, we don't say Jagat is Satyam and Anityam. We say Jagat is Mithya and Anityam. It is Sadasat Vilakshanam. It is not, we are not merely saying Jagat is impermanent. We are saying Jagat is unreal. And by unreal we mean Sadasat Vilakshanam. So Acharya is saying, Jagan Mithyetyukte Mithya Bhutartha Kenapi na Kamyate. When we say Jagat Mithya, what we mean is the world is unreal. And when you say something is unreal, Mithya Bhutartha Kenapi na Kamyate. Nobody will desire something which is unreal. And then he gives an example. Nahi swapnikam rajyam kamayante rajya kamayatarah. Those who desire to be the king of a kingdom. So those who desire a kingdom, Rajya Kamayataraha means those who desire a kingdom. They will not be satisfied with a Swapnikam Rajyam. That is a kingdom which is one has seen in the dream. So suppose I have dreamt of being the king of a kingdom. And when I wake up, suppose I am someone who wants to conquer a great kingdom, and I attain that kingdom in my dream, will that satisfy me? No, of course not. Why? Because such a kingdom is only a dream kingdom. If I desire a kingdom in my Jagrat Avastha, in my waking state, only a Jagrat Rajyam will satisfy me, not a Swapnikam Rajyam. So Acharya is saying, if you say that Jagan Mithya, that Jagat or the world is Mithya or unreal, then it ceases to be an object of desire. Therefore, if you want to develop Drida Vairagyam, a firm conviction in or a firm sense of dispassion, then the only way to achieve that is by becoming firmly convinced not that the world is finite or impermanent, that the world is mithya. Continuing, अतः वैराग्यस्य नित्यतम उत्पत्तये ब्रह्मनित्यं जगत् अनित्यम् इति अनुक्त्वा ब्रह्मसत्यं जगन्मिथ्येत्याह. That is what he is saying. He is saying, therefore, atah vairagyasya nityatam utpattaye. In order to get firmness or permanence in the vairagyam or dispassion, instead of saying brahmanityam jagat anityam, brahmanityam jagat anityam iti anuktva, instead of saying that, brahma satyam jagan mithyetyaha, it is being said Brahman is Satyam, meaning what? Brahman alone is Satyam. Brahman alone is the real object. What is Jagat then? Jagat is Mithya. It is Mithya Bhutam. It is an unreal thing. It is like a Swapnika Rajyam. It is like a kingdom of the dream. That is why Acharya in the uh, first verse of the Dakshinamurti Stotram, how does he start? He starts by emphasizing the mithyatvam of the world. He says, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. It is equivalent to a city observed in a mirror. It is like a reflection. That is not the reality. So instead of saying Jagat Anityam, Brahma Nityam, it says Brahma Satyam Jagan Nitya instead. विनिश्चयः इति विशेषेण निश्चयः इति अर्थकेन निश्चये अप्रामाण्य ज्ञान अनास्कन्दितत्वम् उक्तं भवति. So what is vinishchayah in the verse? Acharya says vinishchayah iti visheshena nishchayah. Visheshena nishchayah means the strong conviction iti arthakena nishchaye apramanya jnana anaskanditattvam uktam bhavati. So by strong conviction it means that knowledge, that conviction, that is unburdened by, not subject to the apramanya jnanam, that is the knowledge which is gained by apramanas, or the apramanya jnanam or invalid knowledge is not contaminating that strong conviction. So one does not have the samshaya jnanam or viparita jnanam, a doubt or a wrong knowledge that is present at the same time that the right knowledge is present. So sometimes what happens is when we have the right knowledge of something, and at the same time there is also the wrong knowledge also, meaning suppose we, you can ask how can you have the right knowledge and the wrong knowledge at the same time. It is possible. See, for example, we know that the sun does not rise because the sun does not go around the earth. It is the earth that is rotating which is causing the appearance of the sun to rise. But every morning, as a matter of perception, it appears as if the sun is rising. So perception tells that there is something called sunrise. But the knowledge of astronomy tells us that there is no such thing called sunrise. It is the Earth's rotation that gives that impression. So at the same time, you have the perception, which is the wrong knowledge, and you have the knowledge through Shastra or astronomy, which is giving you the right knowledge. So it is possible for both knowledges to be coincident. Now, suppose one does not know which is pramana and which is apramana. Suppose one has heard both, but one does not know that pratyaksham is not pramanam in this case, and therefore there is a doubt in that such a person's mind. The doubt arises because we have two opposing cognitions. One is telling us that something is real, another is telling us that something is not real, something else is happening to account for that appearance. How do we know which is correct? That conviction that no, it is actually the earth that is rotating and which gives the appearance of the rising of the sun. So, therefore, it is not that the sun is going around the earth causing the sunrise and the sunset. That is the strong conviction. So, Acharya is saying, Apramanya jnana anaskanditattvam uktam bhavati. By saying conviction, what we are saying is the firm knowledge, despite pratyaksham and other pramanas telling us that the world is existent, it is a solid substance, that it is real. Despite our mind saying no, we have to go for the objects of the world because there is a strong desire for those objects. If one has the firm conviction that Brahman alone is the reality, the world is mithya, then such a conviction is what is meant by Viveka here. So the Nishchayena, the Visheshena Nishchaya, the Visheshena means the special conviction. What is that speciality? The speciality is that it is that conviction is unburdened by doubt. It is unburdened by some other means of knowledge trying to confuse us by saying no, the Jagat is real. So it's such a strong conviction that is unafflicted, unburdened by wrong notions. Soyam. So in the second verse, there is the second line of this verse, there is Soyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha Samudakhritaha. So here Acharya is taking up the next word Soyam in the verse. Soyam iti Saha Vivekinaha ityatra Viveki Visheshanattvena uktaha Ayam Adau Nityanitya Vastu Vivekaha ityuktaha ityarthaha. So the word soyam in the verse is actually a phrase comprising saha and ayam. Saha means he, ayam means this. So what is saha? Vivekinaha ityatra viveki visheshanattvena uktaha. By the word saha, The Viveka which has been referred to as the qualification of the Viveki. Vivekinah ityatra Viveki Visheshanatvena uktah. That which is qualifying the Viveki, the Viveka, is being and ayam adau nitya nitya vastu vivekah ityuktah ityarthah. So the Viveka that was referred to here, in where, what is here in the previous verse, adau nitya nitya vastu vivekah pariganyate. In that verse, the Viveka that is being referred to is this Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithyava Evam Rupa Vinishtayaha, is the conviction that Brahman is Satyam and Jagan is Mithya. Asyaiva Aihika Amushmika Phalabhoga Viraga Hetutvam Niyatam iti Samudahritaha ityatra Samiti Upasargena Jyotitam. Acharya takes up the next word, Samudahritaha. So Samudahritaha is a samasa meaning Samyak Udahritaha. It is well explained. Samyak means it's well explained. So what is that Samyak? Asyaiva, that Viveka alone, Aihika Amushmika Phalabhoga Viraga Hetutvam, is the cause for viragam, or a sense of dispassion or disinterest towards what? Aihika Amushmika Phalabhoga. The pleasures, the enjoyment of the pleasures that are derived in this world, Ahikam, and Amushmikam in the next world, in Swargalokam. Asyaiva ऐहिकामुष्मिक फलभोग विराग हेतुत्वं नियतम् इति समुदाहृतः इत्यत्र samiti upasargena jyotitam. So the upasarga, the prefix sam, means that it is well explained. And by saying well explained, what it means is that the cause of vairagya is viveka, is being well explained, and that is what is being referred. Jyotitam is being referred to by Shankara Bhagavad-pada. Vivekam nirupya vairagyam nirupayati tad vairagyamati. So after having explained Viveka, now Shankaracharya takes up the next sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, which is vairagyam. What that vairagyam is being referred to in the next verse, the 21st verse, which we will take up in the next session. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.